Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in story form, chapter 74. The gopis glorify the song of Krishna's flute, Canto 10. As Krishna entered the Vrindavana forest, which was cooled by breezes perfumed with the fragrance of lotus flowers growing in the clear lakes, he was accompanied by his elder brother Balarama and his cowherd boyfriends. The atmosphere resounded with the sounds of maddened bees and flocks of birds moving about the flowering trees. While herding the cows, Krishna began to play his flute. When the cowherd girls heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which arouses the influence of Cupid, some of them began describing Krishna's qualities to their friends. Others remembered Krishna's pastimes while speaking about Krishna, and the power of Cupid so disturbed their minds that they could not continue and so remained silent. With a peacock feather decorating his head, blue Karnikara flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as bright as gold, and the Vaijayanti garland, Lord Krishna exhibited his form as the greatest of dancers when he entered the forest of Vrindavana, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang of his glories. When the gopis heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which captivates the minds of all living beings, they embraced one another and described it as follows. Oh friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of Maharaja Nanda's sons are certainly most fortunate. When they enter the forest, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly at the residents of Vrindavana. For those who have eyes, we think that there is no greater object of vision. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur paraphrases these as follows. One gopi said, "O friends, if you simply remain in the shackles of family life, what will you be able to see? The Creator has given us these eyes, so let us see the most wonderful thing, Krishna." The gopis were aware that their mothers or other elderly persons might hear their romantic words and disapprove. And so they added, after all, to see Krishna is the goal for all persons and not just for ourselves. A different gopi spoke this and each of the following verses. The gopis said, being dressed very charmingly and having decorated themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flower birds, Krishna and Balrama shine magnificently in the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage. The gopis would have liked to go to the forest and, while remaining concealed, see the wonder of Krishna and Balarama singing and dancing with their friends. This was their desire, but because they could not do so, they sang these verses in ecstatic love. My dear gopis, what auspicious activities the flute must have performed to enjoy the sweetness of Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us, for whom that nectar was actually intended. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river bank where the bamboo trees live, feels jubilation, and thus her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. O friend, Vrindavana is spreading the earth's glory, having obtained the treasure of Krishna's lotus feet. In Vrindavana, Krishna goes barefoot, and so that transcendental land is even more glorious than Vaikuntha, where Vishnu wears slippers. The peacocks dance madly when they hear the sound of Krishna's flute, and when the other creatures on the hilltops see this, they become stunned. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains this as follows. The peacocks request Krishna, "O Govinda, please make us dance." And so Krishna plays his flute. The peacocks then surround Krishna and dance to the rhythm of his melody. And Krishna also sings and dances in their midst. Then, out of gratitude, the peacocks offer Krishna their feathers, and in the manner of musical performers, Krishna accepts them and places them in his turban. Gentle animals such as the deer greatly relish this transcendental entertainment, and so, to get a good view, they flock to the tops of the hills. Blessed are these foolish deer, because they have approached Maharaja Nanda's son, who is gorgeously dressed and who is playing his flute. Indeed, both the doe and the bucks worship the Lord with looks of love and affection. According to the Acharyas, the gopis were thinking as follows. Because Krishna is the object of affection for the male deer, they are happy to see that their wives are also attracted to him. On the other hand, our husbands are jealous of Krishna and cannot even bear to smell his fragrance. Considering this, what is the use of our lives? Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Even the wives of the demigods, when they pass overhead in their airplanes, are disturbed by Cupid upon catching sight of him and hearing his flute. Indeed, they become so bewildered that the flowers fall from their hair and their belts loosen. The sound of Krishna's flute extended to all corners of the universe. It is also interesting to note that the gopis could see the demigods flying in the sky. They felt even more unfortunate, considering how even the demigods would bring their wives with them to catch a glimpse of Krishna. By spreading their ears as vessels, the cows are drinking the nectar of Krishna's flute, flowing out of his mouth. The cubs, their mouths full of milk from their mother's nipples, have become stunned as they take Govinda within themselves through the tear filled eyes and embraced him within their hearts. Great sages in the form of birds have perched upon the branches of the trees, and with closed eyes they are silently listening to the sweet vibration of Krishna's flute. When the rivers hear the vibration of Krishna's flute, their conjugal feelings are aroused, causing their flow to become disrupted as the water becomes agitated in whirlpools. By all these references, the gopis were in effect saying, because so many types of living beings are overwhelmed by conjugal love for Krishna, why should we be criticized for our intense desire? As Krishna tends the cows and continually plays his flute in the full heat of the sun, the clouds in the sky expand themselves out of love and cover Krishna like an umbrella while sending forth droplets of water. The wanton aborigine women of the Vrindavana area become disturbed by lust when they see the grass marked with red kumkum powder. This kumkum powder was smeared over the gopis' breasts. When the gopis held Krishna's lotus feet to their breasts, the kumkum powder rubbed off. This powder then became transferred from Krishna's lotus feet to the ground. The lusty aborigine girls, while looking toward Krishna, would smear this reddish dust over their faces and breasts. In this way, they became fully satisfied, although they were not so satisfied when their lovers touched their breasts. Of all the devotees, Govardhana hill is the best. Oh my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balrama as well as their friends and the cows all kinds of necessities, water for drinking, very soft grass, caves, fruit, flowers, and vegetables. In this way, the hill offers respects to the Lord. Being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna and Balarama, Govardhana hill appears very jubilant. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains the opulence of Govardhana hill as follows. The waterfalls provide cool water for Krishna to drink. Govardhana hill provides other beverages as well, honey, mango juice, and pilu juice. In the caves, Krishna, Balarama, and their friends used to play, sit, and lie down. These caves were very pleasing when it was too hot, too cold, or raining. While passing through the forest tending the cows, Krishna and Balarama would carry ropes for binding their rear legs at the time of milking. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains that these ropes were made of yellow cloth and had clusters of pearls at both ends. Sometimes Krishna and Balarama would wear these ropes on their turbans. In this way, the gopis became fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. This is the perfect example of Krishna consciousness, to somehow or other remain always engrossed in thought of Krishna. For this reason, the gopis' worship of Krishna is declared by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the best. Hare Krishna.